Now is the wild one. I have no idea what's coming up in this one. It's an intellectual treat all years, really, pretty much. And we're starting with Algo and then Viento, está, Suceder, I think, by Checs and RAS. Experimental footage.
Algo en el Viento, está Suceder, which is, I'm sorry for butchering Spanish. Nosferatu. Ukramiga 32 bytes. 32 byte boot block intro for Amiga. It was the least he could do.
Ukramiga 32 bytes by Nosferatu there. And number 3 is Sharp Sheep Shark Field by the Lawnmowers International Association, who are currently holding their annual meeting in my neighbour's back garden. But there you go. On the tick 80.
GBA Faerjan by Jumalauta on the Game Boy Advance.
I can't believe you didn't try the tongue twister there. GBA Faerjan by Jumalauta.
Jumalauta.
Jumalauta, beg your pardon. Tides by blinry and winniehell. Demo for 64 HTML sliders. Oh god, this compo.
What an absolutely delightful entry.
That was lovely.
Just Gameframe avatars by Wursthupe. Shiny pixel display, customized animations on it, and blah, blah, blah.
That's a piece of music guaranteed to bring a twitch to anyone's eye if they've been involved with this party for any length of time. Gameframe Avatars by Wursthupe. Entry number 7 is All You Need by Flux Oni. No, not that one. FPGA demo. No code, no CPU, no shaders.
That was All You Need by Flux and Oni. No, not that one. And now, Molive, Pico, NICCC. He spent several hours on this video at like 2 a.m. on the Friday. Yes, you were delirious. He's just trolling to get Truck to complain.
Hello. Have you seen this demo? Yes, you have. I know you have. Frankly, what platform hasn't been graced with this demo? Ever since 2018, and concerningly once before that, it has gone from the obvious, like the Amiga, the less obvious, like MATLAB, to the fairly obscure, like the Mega Drive. Perhaps the most famous was when a sole coder spent several months porting it to the SNES and released it at Revision 2019, where it was met with thunderous applause. It was so good that Compo immediately ended without showing any following demos. Hello. Have you seen this microcontroller? You might not have. It's called the Raspberry Pi Pico, and it was released in 2020 by the Raspberry Pi Company Foundation Limited in what appears to be a move to end Arduino's whole career. Essentially, it is a PCB with a single MCU soldered to it. The MCU is designed by Raspberry Pi themselves, so-called Raspberry Silicon, and it boasts a whole 264 kilobytes of RAM, it's not a typo, dual ARM Cortex-M0 Plus processor cores at 133 MHz, and fancy peripherals like the PIO, which is the GPIO's equivalent of an Amiga Copper but more flexible. All of this is amazing considering the Pico only costs $4 US, and the chip, the RP2040, can go as low as $1. You could say it's a bit like the Acorn Archimedes. You'd be wrong, but you could say that. In an astounding case of this is all secretly my university coursework, hello Professor Zollner, I, along with the rest of the students in one of the modules on my course, were given 2 of these for free to experiment with, and as soon as I got one, I immediately thought, display output. Hold on to your socks, because it turns out that there's enough GPIO pins that, along with some resistors, the Pico itself can drive a full VGA output entirely from software, no extra chips. There's even a board you can buy, the Pico VGA demo board. This one's made by Pimeroni. It includes SD cards, audio out, and VGA out. There's also an official Raspberry Pi SDK that handles the GPIO software for you. And so, in around 500 lines of C code, I managed to combine this demo with this microcontroller. So, are you ready everyone? You ready to see the same goddamn animation again? Almost feels like Bad Apple at this point. Well, here it is. Yep, that's the animation. I will admit that the PIO is doing an amazing job of keeping the analog signal stable. We're also technically rendering at 480p and pixel doubling, but yep, that's the 60 FPS version of ST-NIC 2000. Also, I bought an expensive HDMI capture card to get this footage. I hope you're all happy. This is great and all. Wow, a new platform, but I feel like I'm retreading old ground. 60 FPS is nice, but I got that without much optimization at all. On one core. This chip can clearly do more. Let's kick it up a notch. Here in the code is a mutex, which is held whilst the screen is being rendered. Oh, by the way, this is like the first ever C project I've ever written, and I think it's the first time I've used CMake as well, so like, please be gentle. While this is held on core 1 by the VGA driver, the polygon renderer on core 0 cannot flip the display. This implements a VSync. Now let's see what happens if we move it down a bit and place it here, so that instead of triggering on VSync, it triggers on HSync. I won't remove it completely because that produces extra artifacts, but this essentially decouples the 2 cores. Let's take another look at that animation, now that the frame rate is unbounded. Ready? As a minor flashing images warning. Now that's fast. Some back of the built-in OS calculator maths says that the animation here is rendering out over the course of 4.9 seconds at just over 360 FPS. That's amazing for a software-only solution on a microcontroller. I mean, look at this thing. It's so small. Now, I could stop there and let you move on with your lives, but where's the fun in that? The Pico is slightly under its max clock at the moment, so let's turn it up. Currently, the Pico is running at 100 MHz, which is slightly under the max rated clock of the RP2040 at 133. So, let's completely ignore that and whack it up to 250 MHz. The Pi Pico can actually handle an overclock really well, considering it's now running at like double the speed, more than double the speed. And these things are, what, $4? I have very little to lose. Once more, before I continue, a warning of flashing images. Oh, and don't blink or you'll miss it. Did you see it? Let's play it again. It's now running very, very fast. It's about 1.8 seconds for the loop, which places it at, brace yourselves, over 1000 FPS. That's utterly ludicrous. There's like, this thing must draw basically no power. It's an educational toy. Like, I genuinely think I could get PS1 performance out of this in like textured rendering. Now, I could stop here, and I will. The release archive will contain all the .uf2 files for the VSync, no VSync, and overclock modes, as well as some other goodies. Thanks for watching.
We love you, Molive.
I love how he did everything that I was going to complain about. Also, I have 3 of those and that board.
Are they still in the box?
Yes,
I bet they're still in the box.
Molive trolled me totally. So bad that I pulled the headphones out of my thing. All right.
Yeah. Pico Nick by Molive. Anyway, let's see how many. That's 2 nicks this year so far, I think, and that was the end of the wild competition. I think it had to be, really, didn't it?
Oh my. Okay. Well, that was a wonderful wild competition.
Yes, it was. Molive, you need to move on from that demo. Please do another one.
Yeah. Oh, but an excellent presentation also.
It was a shame he didn't beatbox the music while it was playing. At least at the relatively normal speed.
That's the next thing is we have to show how that thing can actually make sound, and I don't know that, but I know the demo board actually can.